Well, the government may be keen on a regional processing facility in East Timor, but how do the East Timorese feel about it? The nation's president, Jose Ramos-Horta, joined me by phone earlier from Dili. Mr President, what details can you give us about the regional processing centre that East Timor might host for Australia?
We need to look into details of how this would happen. I still have to discuss with Prime Minister Xanana Gusmão. I will be seeing him in the next day or so. We will discuss, but we need to hear some more specific details about this processing centre for asylum seekers.
Have you been given any details about how many people the centre would need to hold, what sort of facilities you would require and so on?
No, I have not received any such details. I think that will come about in due course. If Timor-Leste, if Prime Minister Gusmão were to be amenable to such a possibility of Timor-Leste hosting a processing centre for asylum seekers, if he were to be amenable to that, I'm in principle in agreement based on my very profound humanitarian convictions. I, as an individual, president of this country, I would never turn my back on people who flee violence in Afghanistan or whatever, but on a temporary basis so that they can be sent to a third country where they can start life with dignity and with a promise of a better future.
What would East Timor expect in return for hosting this centre?
Well, if we have to do it, we do it out of our personal, humanitarian, our collective convictions in helping other poor people who flee persecution, who flee violence or extreme poverty. We are not going to bargain by saying, we do this, you have to do that, you have to give us this. All we would need, obviously, if we agree to go along with it, if we agree with the proposal, of course we would need financial assistance to manage the center, to feed the people, to provide them while a year with medical care, with clothing, with proper shelter, maybe temporary jobs while they're waiting, so that they don't sit idle in the center as prisoners. I wouldn't want Timor-Leste to become an island prison for displaced persons fleeing deprivation, fleeing violence. If they were here, they will have to have a certain freedom.
How do you believe the people of East Timor would react to hosting a facility such as this?
The Timorese people, by nature, by our tradition of history of suffering, tradition of hospitality, knowing that people are fleeing violence, people who are in distress, people who are in extreme deprivation, well, our people always are generous. I'm no different from the common people. The common people are no different from me. What I say, in terms of my personal humanitarian convictions, is a sentiment of every person in the street. If Prime Minister Gusmão agree with the concept, with the idea, then let's have our political people, technical people meet to work out some the details. And the details are extremely important for Timor-Leste to be able to feel reassured and accept as part of the burden, because it has to be a regional response, it has to be a regional initiative, there has to be international commitment, such as the involvement of managing such a possibility, such a center, the involvement of the UNHCR, the United Nations High Commission for Refugees, of the Organization of Migration, IOM, International Office of Migration, WHO, UNICEF. So all of these international agencies will have to be involved directly or indirectly in their respective areas of competence.
Mr President, many thanks for your time tonight.
It's a pleasure.